question for you. First of all, are you still doing the Pledge of Allegiance every morning?
Yes, sir. We're doing it about an hour for the 3,197th day in a row.
Is that like a world record?
you know, somebody, and I won't bore you with the details, but somebody said, why aren't you in the Guinness Book of World Records? So somebody tried to go talk to them about it, and they said, well, since everybody doesn't have a Pledge of Allegiance, I guess they technically can't put me in there. Every country doesn't have one.
I don't know. Come on. Anyway, so those that are listening, so Neal does the Pledge of Allegiance every morning on Facebook Live since January 2016. And 3,100, well, I don't know where we are on the number. I don't know what you just said there, but at 9 a.m. Central for 8 years and 9 months, he does the Pledge of Allegiance. Do you ever just feel sick and you're like, I don't know if I can get through it, and you fight through it, Neal?
There's a lot of days I feel like that, and I think, what have I got myself into? Because I didn't start it for a streak. I just started to get people to at least, show the respect and love for our flag and our country. And then it kind of turned into that streak, and people will see me sometimes say, you look tired. I said, I am tired. I haven't slept in 8 years and 9 months.
That's true. He can't ever just sleep till noon. It'd be nice if we could have like a recording one. Just play the recorded one, and it's one they just feed into the video. But no, Neal, that's really cool that you do that. Hey, a question.
Thanks,
so
man.
You're in a new book called Country Faith Christmas. So
Yes,
it's 50 reflections and recipes from big country stars like yourself. How did you end up in this book? What was this all about?
Well, I've known Deborah, the girl that has put this thing together, Deborah Evans Price, and I've known her forever. I've been doing interviews with her for probably 35, 40 years. And I always tell her, I said, she's the greatest interviewer because she actually has done her homework and pays attention when you're talking to her. So I always brag on her. And she just reached out to me and hopefully the mutual respect about what we've been able to do in our little career. And she just asked if I'd be in there. I said, yeah, I'd love to be. And then she found out that I was Filipino, and I know Scuba Steve is married to a Filipino. So I just put a Filipino recipe in there called pancit, and it's pretty good. And I don't make it a lot, but I make it enough that my white American wife likes it.
Is it since you're Filipino, and this is a Filipino dish, but you're also, I'd say, you still live in Texas? Are you in Texas now?
Yes, sir. Still Texas.
So would it be called Texapino? Because they have Tex-Mex.
Right.
Well, that's what I call myself, a Texapino, the only one in country music. Full-blood Texapino, as a matter of fact.
That's funny. Hey, what do you think? Did you ever play those shows early on where nobody was there?
I played a bunch of them still, and they're coming back around.
Stop it.
Yes, sir, I played them. My worst show ever, I'm going to tell you this, because this is where Trace Atkins is from, Sarepta, Louisiana. Because somebody will say, you remember your worst show? I said, I'll never forget it. I had a little 4-piece band. They set us in the corner of a club, and I always I work hard to try and get my audience, bring them into me. And I worked about 30 minutes, and then I turned around to the band. I said, how much more time do we got? Because when that last minute's over, start tearing stuff down.
One of those
But
shows.
we've always worked at them pretty good and got them most of the time.
Yeah, one of those shows where you watch the clock. If I do stand up, I'm like, man, this has been a long 45 minutes. And I look down, we're 18 minutes in. I'm like, oh, God.
That was exactly that night in Sarepta, Louisiana.
Yeah. Who was it that really gave you your first big opportunity? Another artist that said, hey, you should come on tour with me, way back in the day, or somebody that kind of gave you the, I believe in Neal McCoy.
Charlie Pride. Yes, sir. I won a contest in 1981 in Dallas. Janie Fricke was the judge of that contest. A lot of old country folks know her name, and she's a great lady. And I won, and she had a guy that worked with Charlie Pride's booking and management agency out of Dallas called Chardon, and they were judges. And when I won, they came over and talked to me after the thing and Janie said, Neal, I work with Charlie Pride's booking and management company. He has already helped get started. Earl Thomas Conley and Ronnie Millsap and Dave and Sugar and Gary Stewart. And she said, I don't know, this is 81. So she said, I don't know if he's still into that, but I would love an opportunity for y'all just to meet. And my wife and I drove up about 2 weeks later and went in Charlie and his wife Rosine's office and visited with him and just had a big mutual respect. And Charlie said exactly what you mentioned a while ago. He said, Neal, here's the deal. I would like for you to come open my shows with me when we have an opening act. And he said, I know you don't have a band. I said, yes, sir, I don't. He said, you use my band. You can use my band for about 20 or 30 minutes. do your show, and then when you come off, you can go out and sell merchandise. And so that's what I did. And when I got through selling merchandise, I would go watch his shows night in and night out. And I just learned so much from him from a performance standpoint to just it's okay to be silly and goofy. You don't have to be that. A lot of these artists nowadays, and I'm not telling you something you don't know, Bobby, a lot of them are macho men. Everybody's a tough guy. All their pictures are all, no one's smiling, no one's doing anything. And I knew I didn't want to do that. But Charlie Pride is the guy that got me started and let me open shows with him all over the world for about 5 years.
How did you decide from somebody else that has a name that's not their real name? Me, my last name's not Bones. It's a stupid name. Yours is not stupid. Yours is actually cool. Like, how did you decide on your stage name?
Well, which name are you talking about? My stage name's cool?
Yeah, your stage name's cool. Neal McCoy sounds cool. Bobby Bones sounds like a pirate.
Hey, man. Man, my real name is McCoy. McGaughey. And it didn't look like McCoy. It looked like McGahey, McGaughey. I got it all my life. And when I signed with Charlie Pride's booking and management agency, they couldn't remember what it was either. So they would call me different things. And then I finally signed with Atlantic Records in 1990, and Rick Blackburn, the head of the label, I changed it in '88 to McCoy, the way it looked, McGoy. I thought surely people will be able to read that, and they didn't. They called me McCoy then. They thought it was a misprint. So when I signed with Rick Blackburn, Atlantic Records, he said, "You got any problem with changing your name to McCoy?" And I said, "Well, will that help me get a hit record?" He said, "Well, I can't guarantee you on that, but we can change your name." I said, "Yeah, let's go for it." So I've only been McCoy 34 years.
So because people were mispronouncing it, if that were my case, I'd be Bobby Jones for sure, because everybody calls me Bobby Jones, Neal.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be Bobby McCoy. That would help me out.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to jinx yourself with that name.
You've done, I'm reading here, 17 USO tours. I know you're a proud supporter of veterans. I didn't know you'd done so many USO tours. Like, where have you been that kind of was like, wow, I cannot believe I'm in this part of the world?
Well, we were in Afghanistan in 2001, and that is the towers fell in September. The Marines went in the start of October, and start of November, and we went into Afghanistan at Camp Rhino, which was their first camp they established Marines. We went there. We flew in the dark of the night, and also to Kandahar, where we had just bombed their airport and taken it over. There's some great stories there, and I've been on every USO tour with Wayne Newton, and we were rushed out at the Kandahar airport because of some emergency or something. So we went. They took us back on the plane, and we left. And Wayne and I just sat there next to each other and go, "Did that just happen?" I said, "Yes, sir, I believe it did." But any USO trip, Bobby, is whether it's I've been to Italy, Hungary, Bosnia, England, just a lot of different places other than just in theater. But I've been into Iraq 7 times, in Afghanistan a few times, in Pakistan, and those places just kind of it's just a little more intense there. But any USO tour where I get an opportunity to go, whether it's perform or sing or maybe just shake hands and hug necks, I have anytime I get that opportunity in the United States. Also, it's worth it to me.
Neal McCoy on with us again. He recites the Pledge of Allegiance every morning on his Facebook Live at 9 a.m. Central, and he's in a new book called Country Faith Christmas: 50 Reflections and Recipes from Leading Country Music Stars. That came out October 15th, and Deborah Evans Price compiled all of this. And Neal, I'm a big fan, and I really appreciate the time, and looking forward to seeing you in the book.
I appreciate you, Bobby, and congratulations to everything you've been able to do, because I know it was just like, at least to me, because I'm not in Nashville. I'm still a Texan, like we talked about. But for me, your name came out of the blue, and then the next thing you had just blown up, and you're doing everything that you're doing. So congratulations. I know everybody thinks, well, it's an overnight success, but it's certainly not. I understand that.
I'm 83 years old, Neal. This is taking a long time.
Why not?
Yes. All right, Neal, have a great day. Appreciate the time, buddy.
I'll see you, Bobby.
I see you.